In the Vietnam, I'm going to teach you about warships. The U.S. had 4 battleships: USS Iowa, USS Wisconsin, USS Missouri, and USS New Jersey. Only USS New Jersey saw combat. From 1968 to 1969, she fired nearly 6,000 16-inch shells. She also fired about 15,000 5-inch shells. During her tour, she was the only active battleship in the world, as well as the last all-gun battleship engaged in combat. During Vietnam, the U.S. had the 5th largest navy in the world. They developed a highly effective blockade to block supplies for enemy forces, engaged in naval gunfire support missions, and provided extensive medical support for the Allied military operation.
This is the M14, a selective fire automatic rifle. It gradually replaced the M1 Garand in U.S. Army service by 1961. It was the standard issue infantry rifle for U.S. military personnel in the United States from 1959 until it was replaced by the M16 rifle in 1970. The M14 was used for U.S. Army, Navy, and Marine Corps basic and advanced individual training from the mid-1960s to the early 1970s. The M14 serves as the basis for the M21 and M25 sniper rifles. The M14 was the last American battle rifle issued and funded to U.S. military personnel. Oh crap, we gotta move! The Remington 870 is a pump-action shotgun. Shotguns are primarily used on jungle patrol. Shotguns are not general issue to all infantrymen, but are select issue to such as 1 per squad. Got him! The United States relied heavily on its superior air power, which included B-52 bombers and other aircraft that dropped thousands of pounds of explosives over North Vietnam. In addition to artillery and infantry weapons, both sides used highly toxic chemical defoliants.
Hello, today I'm going to talk about the battle at Khe Sanh. You just have to walk through the Vietnamese jungle. Looks like we made it. The Battle of Khe Sanh was a 77-day battle beginning on January 21st, 1968. The People's Army of North Vietnam carried out bombings on a U.S. Marine garrison. After the attacks, the Marines and South Vietnamese fought off the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong. North Vietnamese attacks included heavy artillery, mortar, and rocket attacks. Throughout the battle, U.S. Air Forces dropped over 100,000 tons of bombs on the area surrounding Khe Sanh. You can also see a gun they used. In addition, 158,000 large caliber shells were fired into the hills. While U.S. and South Vietnamese forces focused on the fight, the South Vietnamese and Viet Cong began the Tet Offensive. In early July, Americans destroyed the base at Khe Sanh and withdrew from the battle. After U.S. forces left, the North Vietnamese Army, also known as the NVA, gained control over the region of Khe Sanh. The battle ended on July 9th, 1968.
Booby traps were a real big aspect in the Vietnam War. Soldiers not only had to worry about being shot, but they also had to worry about walking into booby traps. Like, look over here, all these bamboo sticks. Someone step into this, it's over for them. This is one of the newer additions to the Vietnam booby trap collection. Just found that guy. But over here, we can go towards the side closing pansy trap. This was the most common booby trap in the Vietnam War. Very cheap and easy to make. Basically, it's a small hole covered by leaves, and inside are sharpened bamboo sticks. So, oh wow, here's one right here, and you can see how the leaves are covering it up. You wouldn't even see. And then inside is the bamboo, and you step in here, it's just gonna close right over your foot. So then, yeah, it's pretty crazy around here. Next thing we're going to talk about is the man's trap. So basically, it can be made in various ways. It consists of a spiked ball or drum or a log hanged to one of these trees. And once you're walking through the forest with your troop. You don't really know what's going on. Looking out for VX.
Whoa, watch out.
Oh, whoa. I almost walked into that. You see how a log probably would have swung down this path and just killed me. So I'm just going to step over that. Next thing we're going to talk about is a grenade trap. So you got to be careful because there's probably a string along this path connected to the grenade. And once you walk through it, trip the wire, one end of the string is connected to the grenade. Once you trip through it, it's just going to explode. Sometimes there's a timer on it. Just kill your whole platoon. So let's go deeper into the forest. As we look on the ground, you can see here's a cartridge trap. Little cartridge in the ground. This is actually a little shell to a bullet. And inside is a nail, and on top of the nail is an actual bullet. If you step on it, the bullet will clench down on top of the nail, just shoot up right through your foot, and there goes your whole mission. Once again, kind of crazy. Next thing we're going to talk about is a spiked board trap. Here are some boards where the Viet Cong like to store them, and what they like to do is they'll take one of these right here, put some nails on it. You step on one end, it'll hit you right in your face or your legs. Then your mission is over once again. So these booby traps are kind of crazy. It was probably pretty significant for, wounds and deaths within the war. As any Viet soldier will tell you today, it was crazy out here. Like, you couldn't walk through this brush. Look at this brush right here. You couldn't walk through that without someone scoping it out first because there's so many booby traps. And that's the craziest thing about Vietnam. And, well, thank you.